poor access to credit. You have to get a collateral to obtain credit. As I'm talking to you, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in the southeastern part of the country, women cannot inherit land. And if you're a farmer, your major collateral is the land. So if you do not have the land, you don't have any collateral to obtain any credit. Presently, women in the eastern part of the country cannot inherit land. It's a very serious issue. Inadequate and ineffective extension system. The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations says there should be one extension officer to 50 farmers. In Nigeria, we have one extension officer to about 350,000 farmers. The discrepancy is just too much. Then the issue of insecurity. Some cannot even access their farms, especially in the Northeast. Distinguished guests, excellencies, please can we compare this? Nigeria and others. The yield in Nigeria has per rice is 1.5 tons per hectare. In other countries, especially Thailand, is 30 tons per hectare. Cocoa, 150 kilograms per hectare, the yield in Nigeria presently. In Ivory Coast, Malaysia, Ghana, and Brazil, they obtain 2,000 kilograms per hectare from the same cocoa we plant together. Maize, our major staple crop, the yield in Nigeria is 1.2 tons per hectare. Other places, 12 tons per hectare. That's the world average. Groundnut, which used to be a major foreign exchange earner for the country, we just obtained 400 kilograms per hectare. In Turkey, Spain, and Egypt, the yield per hectare is about 2,700 kilograms. Tomatoes, 5 tons per hectare. Under the greenhouse technology in Spain and Jamaica, they are getting about 100 tons per hectare. And let me just quickly add here that in the year 2013, Nigeria spent 13 billion naira in the importation of tomato paste into the country. 13 billion naira. Just for the importation of tomato paste into the country. Then, of course, potatoes, 6 tons per hectare. That's the yield in Nigeria. In the United States of America, it's about 60 to 80 tons per hectare. Onions, 6 tons per hectare. In Yemen, it's 120 tons per hectare. And even in Africa, just our neighbor here, the Republic of Niger, they get about 45 tons per hectare. Senegal is 38 tons per hectare. Egypt, 35 tons per hectare. Nigeria, we said, is just about 6 tons per hectare. Then the fish, the aquaculture, what we have is a kind of peasant fishing system. In other places, it has been modernized. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. Then talking about the livestock. I'm sure Honorable Nuh Rubad will be interested in this. The common Fulani cow, Rankaidate, gives about 1 liter of milk per day. Yes. But then in other countries, the same cow gives about 5 gallons of milk per day. The Frisian, they give about 80 liters of milk per day. Presently in Nigeria, our cows give 1 liter to 2 liters per day. What is happening? Then even the carcass are on because they are moving all over the country, roaming around. You find out that all the meat is expended in walking about. So you have them at about 100 kg, even at 3 years. In other places, once they are 3 years, they are almost 1,000 kg, 1 ton. So you can see the discrepancy here also. And in terms of calving, most cows in Nigeria, they deliver once in 2 to 3 years, but then other cows deliver annually. So even the libido of our livestock is very low in Nigeria. This is a particular Frisian cow, actually from Adamawa. We saw it when we went there. And let me quickly add that through artificial insemination, this is a foreign breed. What Governor Nyako did was, you do artificial insemination, you take the semen of this, and then you inject it into the local cow. Then you have a hybrid. And the milk, the lactation increased from 1 liter per day to about 10 liters per day. So presently, in Adamawa State, they've broken the jinx of the 1 liter per milk, per lactation per cow. They are in the average of about 10 liters, which is highly commendable. Food security. The Food and Agriculture Organization says if you can afford a balanced diet, and it's available, then you have food security. We're talking of a population of 170 million people. 79% of the population live below the poverty line, $2 per day. The floods of 2012 and 2013 in some parts of the country has drastically reduced food security. And just last week, the National Meteorological Agency gave a forecast of the rainfall pattern in 2014, and they told us that the rainfall this year is going to be lower than that of last year. So by the time you're talking of low rainfall, it means the productivity is going to be decreased, and our food security is going to be questioned greatly. Then, of course, the insurgency in Benue, which is supposed to be the food basket, as we are talking, they are fighting. In the plateau, which is supposed to be a special place for most especially temperate vegetables, exotic flowers, people are fighting. In the northeast, the insurgency is also there. The question I want to ask all of us, food for thought, is Nigeria secured food-wise? The answer is left to each and every one of us. We could answer it to ourselves. Case study of successes in the states. In the Northeast, some states have done greatly, and I just gave the example of Adamawa. In the North Central, Kwara, special kudos must be given to the government of Kwara State by the introduction of the Zimbabwean farmers. The yield of rice, which was about 1 ton per hectare, before the introduction of the Zimbabwean farmers by Excellency Saraki here, rose to 5 tons per hectare. And today, as we are talking, the highest yields of maize, rice are found in Kwara State. It's a great model, and I recommend it for emulation. In the Northwest, Sokoto has done a lot. What Governor Wamako did was, I had my PhD at the Usmanu Danfodio University, Sokoto, and I know Sokoto very well. The major thing with Sokoto is there are so many youths on the streets. So he just came up with a kind of skills acquisition program. And I think, Your Excellency, you mopped up almost 70,000 youths at the last count. Because in each of the local government areas in Sokoto State, there is a skills acquisition center. He has the youths, he called them the youth vanguards with their uniforms. They get salaries, and most of them are happy. Most of them are on the farms. Highly commendable. Agriculture has to do with job creation, provision of food, and of course, wealth creation. So by the time you're mopping up the youths directly from the streets onto the farm, you are invariably increasing the per capita income of the individual youth, the growth